Hello and welcome back to Webcast News, and before I actually get into the news, happy 29th of February everyone. If you didn't know, it is a leap year this year, so 29th of February actually happens. And just another thought to bear in mind, this day won't happen again until 2020, as in the 29th of February, no day actually happens again, you know what I mean. Then, as every other news source will do, I pretty much have to talk about the 88th Academy Awards show that happened last night. And there's one main reason that you have to talk about it this year, and that is because the unthinkable happened. Leonardo Dicaprio finally won an Oscar. He won the Best Actor in a Leading Role award for his role in The Revenant, for which he's won pretty much every other leading actor award, so it was pretty obvious what was going to happen there. But it's still a very surprising thing, because the Oscars seem to have a thing against him. But for it to finally happen is actually quite a good thing. And I think everyone either breathed a huge sigh of relief or had a slight internal explosion of happiness. Although The Revenant actually didn't win Best Picture, which is a bit of a downer on that side of the story if you did like that film. Spotlight took it instead, which is quite funny because it means it took the spotlight, literally. But then, one of the other main parts that I want to talk about is Chris Rock's opening monologue on the Academy Awards last night. Now, Chris Rock was the host of the show, and he was announced, he came out, and the first thing he said was this.
Man, I counted at least 15 black people on that montage.
And I followed that up by saying,
Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards.
and ending that small section at the start with,
You realize if they nominated host, I wouldn't even get this job. So y'all be watching Neil Patrick Harris right now.
And then he carried on to speak about how mad everyone was getting at the fact that no black people have been nominated for the bigger awards this year. And he made a very good point at why no one had got mad at this before. And that's because people had bigger things to worry about than the Oscars. And then also in his opening monologue, he went on to speak about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. Will Smith obviously was not nominated for an actor award for his role in Concussion, and that led Jada Pinkett Smith to say she was going to boycott the awards and she wasn't going to go. But Chris Rock's summary of this is pretty true.
Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
And then he went on to have a little bit of a go at Will Smith as well, asking how the heck he managed to get 20 million for the Wild Wild West. Haven't actually seen that film, I can't tell you how bad it is, but seemingly it's pretty bad then. He also made a joke about a montage of black people being killed by police on their way to films, to which the audience kind of started out a bit stunned, and then they sort of came round to it a little bit and started applauding and laughing a little bit, but it was as if everyone went, I don't really know if I should actually be laughing or applauding that, because I'm white. I've linked to a video of the rest of the opening monologue from Chris Rock, and I've also linked to a video of Leonardo DiCaprio's acceptance speech, and also to the Oscars website where they have all the winners and nominees from last night, so you can go and check all of that out if you want a bit more Oscars in your life. And then moving on to some very disturbing news coming out of Moscow. Now, as of recording, this has happened about 20 minutes ago, I think, and it is that a woman in Moscow has been arrested under suspicion of murdering a child. That suspicion's pretty strong because she was seen carrying a child's severed head through the streets of Moscow. And the woman is believed to have been the nanny of the child, and on suspicion she has murdered the child and then set fire to the parents' apartment. And the way the woman has been caught, apparently she was seen on CCTV, and I should think at least someone rang the police after they saw a child's severed head. She was caught walking near the metro station, but of course, the main point coming from this story, even though it has literally only been reported minutes ago, the woman on the CCTV footage is seen wearing a hijab. And the racists and people who blame religion can come out and love this story now. Yes, it's a horrific thing to happen, but the hijab doesn't mean anything in this story. It wouldn't matter if a white person from Russia who had lived there all their lives had done this. It's just as bad. The hijab doesn't matter. And big news companies and sources will report that the hijab was in this and it's Muslims because, one, it's a big topic, and two, they like views and paper sales because they actually need it for the money. The only reason I've mentioned the hijab part is because I want to do the opposite here. It shouldn't matter. It's one person. If a white person had done it, people who are Muslim or whatever other religion wouldn't turn around and go, oh, that's every white person, or that's every Catholic, or that's every atheist. So what gives us the right to do the opposite? And then finally, because that's a horrible note, I'm going to finish on a bit of a humorous note, and it actually comes from the world of football. And yes, I know I've been talking a lot about football recently, but I've not been talking about matches, so I think I can get away with it. You may know that yesterday in the English Premier League, Manchester United took on Arsenal. And Louis van Gaal, the Manchester United manager, known for his boring tactics, went a bit mental. This happened in the second half of the game, and he was becoming infuriated at the Arsenal players seemingly going to ground quite easily under challenges. To which his reaction was to then go up to the fourth official and throw himself to the floor. And of course, as soon as this happened, the internet went into overdrive, making some very bizarre memes. I'm going to put some of them up on the screen now, some of my favourites, so that you can have a look and for your own viewing pleasure, really, because it's better than looking at my face. And on that meme note, because everyone loves a good meme, right? That is it for today's video. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you go and hit the like button. Also, whilst you're down there, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. And as always, thanks for watching.